I'm his first wife.
I helped grandfather's business. I'm also son.
I'm the daughter. I also wife.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar kabira.
Death is the only appointment that no one can postpone. One moment, a father is sitting at the family table. The next moment, only his empty chair remains. Life is full of plans. We work hard, we build homes, we save money, we buy land, we dream of giving our families a better future. Abraham was no different. He was a loving husband, a caring father, a respectful son, and above all, a man who believed that family is built by love, responsibility, and trust. Every evening, this house was filled with laughter, meals were shared, problems were solved together. No one imagined that these ordinary moments would one day become memories. Then, without warning, Ibrahim passed away. His family gathered to pray for him. They believed the hardest part was saying goodbye. But when life ends, question of begins. Who owns the house? Who receives the land? Who has a legal right to inherit? And sometimes the greatest surprise is not what the family expects, but what the law or the wishes of the deceased quietly reveal. Inheritance is more than dividing property. It is about understanding rights, responsibilities, and justice. This is the story of one family and the legal lessons that changed everything.
Papa, sit this year. He always asked whether we had eaten. Today, the chair is still here, but Papa is not. For 30 years, he carried this family on his shoulders. He always said, no matter what happens, stay united.
Years ago, Ibrahim adopted an orphaned girl. He fed her, educated her, loved her, raised her as his own. But sometimes the law sees family differently from the heart.
When everyone called me orphan, he called me daughter.
Can't delay this forever. Our father left to land, his house and the savings.
I think we should sell everything and divide the money.
Yeah, maybe it's easiest way, right? Easiest way? To whom? I spent 15 years with your father to make this home. I don't want money, I want the land. Your father's grave is still fresh. What are you talking about, sir? Everything. What about me? I am invisible now because I am old. I carried deep brain for 9 months. Do I have no listeners in this discussion? What about me? I am a sister. I am his mother. I am his first wife.
I helped grandfather's business. I'm also son.
I am the daughter. I am also wife. Can I say something?
Wait, this is inheritance. You cannot interrupt here. It doesn't concern you.
Linda, that is enough.
This is how many inheritance disputes begin, not with greed, not with hatred, but with confusion. Everyone believes they are right, yet few understand the law.
Assalamualaikum, Aunty.
Alaikum assalam.
And for a very important matter, because you are a very elder person and with experience. After our father's death, we are in a confusing state. Please clarify us. Who will get inheritance?
If inheritance was easy, families would not argue about it. Can we divide everything equally on? No, it doesn't work like that. So, Auntie, can we divide according to what feels fair? No, the law should decide how the inheritance should be divided. Auntie, then will I inherit? I'm his sister. I stayed with him since my childhood. I think I can't answer right now because I need to know who are the heirs. That's an important question. You have to talk with a lawyer who are having the experience with the Muslims inheritance. You have to talk with the lawyers and they will give the right guidance. So, what should we do now? First, you should meet the lawyer. They will explain everyone's rights according to the law. And as well as you can ask the religious scholars as well as for the guidance.
Thank you, Auntie. Let's go and meet a lawyer.
Community advice can guide us in every time, but inheritance rights must ultimately be determined according to the law.
First, I'm sorry for your loss. Before we discuss inheritance, there is something important. Ibrahim left a written will. Yes. In this will, Ibrahim leaves part of one property to Amna.
He remembered me.
Yes, he did more than remember you. And he planned for you.
Under Muslim law, an adopted child does not automatically inherit through intestate succession. However, a person may provide for an adopted child through a valid will.
The property mentioned in the will shall pass according to the will. The remaining estate must be distributed according to the Muslim inheritance.
They think inheritance begins immediately after death, but it doesn't. Firstly, the funeral expenses are paid. Secondly, the debts are settled. Thirdly, the valid will is carried. Only then is inheritance distributed. This 10 million rupees is what remains for inheritance. Now we identify the legal heirs.
Nasira, unfortunately, you do not inherit anything. Why I can't inherit? Because Ibrahim left sons. Under Muslim inheritance law, close heirs prevent more distant heirs from inheriting. This doesn't mean Nasira is not family. It simply means the law gives priority to closer relatives. And now let us calculate the inheritance. Because Ibrahim left children, the wives together receives 1.
She carried him before anyone else did. She stood beside him through every stage of life. Even after her son is gone, the law remembers the sacrifice of her mother and protects her rightful share.
And also, then your mother receives 1/6 of share. Yeah, that's a good question. Because under the traditional Muslim law, sons have continuing financial responsibilities toward their families. So, therefore, the law allocates inheritance together with some obligation because that is why it happened.
All day we argued about what Ibrahim left behind, but we almost forget what he taught us when he was alive.
Yes, actually we forgot that our father told us the family is worth more than that property, land and everything.
If Wapa could see us now, he would want peace.
Yes, he would want peace. Inheritance law was never created to break families. It was created to protect rights, to prevent injustice, and to ensure that no one is forgotten after death. But a family is more than numbers, more than land, more than money. The law tells us who has the right to inherit. Yet, after those rights are known, compassion, generosity, and mutual understanding can decide who gets what. Sometimes the greatest inheritance is not a house or piece of land, but a family that chooses to stay together. Property can be divided, hearts should not be, because when justice is guided by kindness and rights are respected with love, every leaves with something far more valuable than wealth. In the end, the question is not only who gets what, it is what kind of family do we choose to become after loss. The story you have just watched reflects situation faced by many Muslim families in Sri Lanka. While every family is different, one question remains the same. What does Islam really teach about inheritance?
Good evening. When it comes to inheritance under Muslim law, it's a broad area. So I just want to talk about the most controversial thing that Muslim men get double share of what Muslim women is entitled to. Nowadays, all legal advocates call for amending this Sharia rule, but it is funny or interesting thing that those who don't have any ideas about Islamic broader concepts, they also call and pray for Muslim women. So first, we should understand that among special laws available in Sri Lanka, the only Muslim law is the divine or religious law, which is derived from God's wordings and God's teachings. When it comes to Muslim religious law, we can't simply criticize or amend Sharia rule if we acknowledge that the God is superior than us and He has the ultimate knowledge and wisdom about all of these things. So, when it comes to Muslim law, first we should understand broader Islamic concept. In Islam, when one enters into marriage, the mahar should be given to Muslim women. So, if a woman asks for even 1 crore co, in that circumstance also her father cannot interfere. It her right. She can ask even one co, then it is her right. So we should understand a broader concept of Islam. In Islam, when one enters into marriage, the mahar should be given to Muslim women by groom. So even if she asks for one co, her father cannot interfere with that because it's her right. Even during the marriage, the duty to provide house and other essentials like foods and clothes is solely vested with the men. So woman does not have any legal duty to provide for husband or support his family financially. So even a divorce happens, the monetary compensation should be given to women by groom. So in all of these circumstances, the most luckiest person is woman, and on the other hand, the most burdens are vested with the men. So it is reasonable to give a support from his parents' property to fulfill his obligation. Second thing is, it is wrong to assume that always Muslim women get half of the share of Muslim men is entitled. In Quran teaches and provides numeric situations where Muslim women gets equal, or in some situations Muslim women gets more than Muslim men is entitled. In some situations, Muslim women inherits while male relatives are not inheriting anything. So so-called double share is applicable in specific circumstances, and it is not a universal rule applied in every and each cases. Another important thing is that a woman's inheritance is her personal property. She does not have any legal duty to give that property to her husband. If she wishes, she can use it, invest it, or she can dispose it. But when it comes to male's inheritance, he must use that property fulfilling his obligation, like providing meals and other clothes to wife and his family. So when looking at all of these things, we can consider the Islam has given double share of what woman is entitled in consideration all of these financial duties vested with the men. Therefore, it is wrong to assume Islam is discriminatory in terms of inheritance when it comes to men and women. Thanks.